Hello and welcome to Drive Spark. And today is an important day for anyone who's concerned with the Indian automotive industry. And yes, that includes buyers as well because you would be buying a car. And well, if you are buying a car, you have one more option, and that is exactly what you see right there behind me. That is Citroen, and Citroen has made its debut in the Indian market. Citroen has announced its plans for the Indian market. And before we go ahead, into what Citroen has in store for the Indian market, let's look into the history of Citroen and what it involves, what it had, the importance of Citroen. And this is one of the most important cars that define what Citroen really is. Citroen had many important cars like the 2CV, which put the general public of France on four wheels, or it even had the DS and a few other products, but this could be called the defining one. This is the Citroen Traction Avant. Well, what does that mean? It literally means front wheel drive in French, and that is exactly what this car is. This was introduced in 1934, and it is the car that revolutionized the automotive industry to what it is today. You go out on the road today, you have cars, and 90% of those cars, or more than that, in fact, would be front wheel driven. And this car is where it all started. This is the world's first mass produced front wheel driven car. And yes, it is also the first monocoque chassis car. Unbelievable? Well, Citroen did it way back in 1934. It has no separate chassis, as you can see here. The body and engine. That is all there is. It is a monocoque construction. Well, it is a beautiful piece. This one in particular, we'll look at its history in just a bit. But let's take a look at its interior. Properly retro. And so are the tires, the wheels, and the brilliant old Citroen badge. And crank. It's got the lot. And here is the history behind this particular car. This was owned by Indians, and it right now belongs to S. Srivardhan, someone from Chennai who owns this right now. Well, it had quite a lot of revolutionary features for its time, like front wheel drive, four wheel independent suspension, crash resistant monocoque body, rack and pinion steering, and these are the features that are used till date. And that is where Citroen is coming from. Citroen has displayed this car on purpose in India because Citroen is debuting in India. Well, it has been on for a long time now. Citroen has been trying to get into the Indian market, and the news we have been hearing has been coming in since 2017, in fact, since 2016. And well, more than 3 years later, today Citroen has launched, it's held its first official event as a brand in India. And what it has done today is it has Citroen, the brand has explained what plans it has for the Indian market and where it looks to head in the future. And well, most importantly, it has revealed this. This is the Citroen C5 Aircross. Before we go on and talk about the car, let's do a quick walk around. And well, there is absolutely no doubt that this is one of the most handsome looking cars out there in the European market right now. But We would soon be seeing this in the Indian market. The Citroen C5 Aircross. Well, let's take a look at the design first. Up front, we have this handsome design, the unique design that is the split headlamp and the split radiator grille design. And right in front, taking prominence, is Citroen's logo, the iconic logo that you see right there. We have these little details, the inserts in the bumpers. The entire SUV is based on a design that relies on straights and squares with a bit of circular, uh, with a dash of circular design to it. And we have the same design continuing on the side as well, where we have these skirtings, we have these roof rails that carry on the same design, and we have the wheels. These are 18-inch wheels, alloy wheels, certainly the most unique design out there. We have nothing of this sort in the Indian market right now, and to be honest, we are not sure if all these features will be brought to the Indian market. But well, we certainly hope they do come to the Indian market. At the rear, we also have the unique design, the rectangles carried on inside the tail lamp as well. The same details are also in the exhaust outlets. The rear is pretty simple. We have a Citroen badge and C5 Aircross badging. We have these vents that make it look ultra cool. Well, of course, they are not functional, but it makes the car look really good. And well, let's go inside the car and take a look at the design details. And there you have it. This is the unique dashboard layout that you see here. Again, carries the same detail, the design details, the design styling from the outside of the car. We have the 8-inch touchscreen display, infotainment display has been placed at the center of the dashboard with the air conditioning vents around it. We have the same theme being carried on the steering wheel as well. And when we look at the center console, we have the gear lever, which is also again unique in shape. This is the automatic version, and we have the electronic parking brake and other controls as well. We have rear air conditioning units over here, and the seats are really comfortable. Unique design on the dashboard as well. Citroen C5 Aircross is one of the most unique cars that the Indian market will see because, well, nothing comes close to it in terms of design, and well, the design has been carried on, the styling bits have been carried on throughout the car. What is on the outside can also be seen on the inside. All the little squares and shapes that you see on the outside have also made it to the inside, and that is what makes it unique. At the rear, you have an electric tailgate with the camera for the parking. It is an electronic tailgate, but right now the battery has been drained out because, well, the car has been statically displayed for a long time, and that that's the boot space of the Citroen C5 Aircross. In here is space saver. You do not get a full size tire in here. This is a look at the interior from the rear of the car, and we have a parcel tray here. The button for the opening and closing of the boot is right here, but as I said, the battery has been drained out and we would have to do it manually. Let's get to the inside. The entire instrument cluster is digital. There is no analog bit over here. We have this 8-inch infotainment unit, and as I was saying earlier, we have the air conditioning vents, USB port, 12-volt charging port. We have the engine start stop button, eco mode and sport mode. Yes, we have driving modes. The C5 Aircross does not come with uh, all wheel drive, but it comes with kind of a terrain response system that it is a traction response system, in fact, which you can change the modes and you have it offering different traction settings for different terrain. Though it is front wheel driven, we have this unique gear lever style over here, and this is the electronic parking brake, cup holders right here. Coming back to the gear lever and the transmission, this particular model is the automatic, which has an 8-speed torque converter. It also comes with a 6-speed manual, and in all probability for the Indian market, it will be offered in both automatic and manual variants. And that's about it for the interior. All right, we have this little compartment in the armrest, and we open it from here like this, and that can be used for phones and other things that can be stored in there. Glove box right here, and that is a pretty deep glove box. And that's pretty much it about the interior. Well, let's talk about the engine while in here itself. Uh, Internationally, the Citroen C5 Aircross is offered with a 1.5 liter diesel or a 2.0 liter diesel or a 1.2 liter petrol engine. The 1.2 liter petrol produces 130 bhp, the 1.5 liter diesel also produces 130 bhp, but the top spec variant is uh, a 2.0 liter turbo diesel engine that pushes out 180 bhp. Yes, it all goes to the front wheels. Yes, you have traction control, so it is very much manageable. And this SUV should be a really fun to drive SUV when it is launched in India. But one thing we cannot say for now is what engine it would be launched with in the Indian market. We do not have any details about the powertrain. However, Citroen did confirm that there would be a hybrid variant of the C5 Aircross coming out as well. And let's talk about it more on the outside. Before that, let's look at the seat over here. That's the door panels, and there you have the seat. The seat has been made from different materials, different textures, and that makes it uh, beautiful to even look at. You have You have lane assist, you have cruise control, and you have paddle shifters for the torque converter as well. And all right, coming back to the engines. Well, we do not know what engine it would be offered with in the Indian market, but there would be a hybrid variant. So that's all about the Citroen C5 Aircross. Coming back to Citroen India's plans, the Citroen C5 Aircross will be launched in 2020. Uh, Citroen commented they didn't give us an exact launch date, but they did say that the SUV will be launched in 2020, before the end of 2020, in fact. So we can expect the car to come in the last quarter of 2020. Uh, Other than that, what other details do we have? We have details for the other cars that Citroen will bring into the Indian market. Citroen will be bringing in a new model every year starting 2021. So, and 2021 onwards. 2020 is when the Citroen C-Cross will come in, C5 Aircross will come in, and then you have other Citroen models coming in. Yes, there have been rumors concerning Citroen bringing back the Ambassador badge to the Indian market. But as of now, there are no. Citroen did confirm that the ambassador is still under consideration for the Indian market because, well, according to Citroen, and it is true to an extent that the Indian market and everyone in India is very nostalgic and emotional about the ambassador uh, brand, the ambassador name, in fact, the ambassador tag, and they are right about it. So they said they are being very careful about bringing the ambassador badge back to India. Uh, they're not sure what they should do with it, and they're still thinking about it. They're still in the thought process about the ambassador coming back to India, and that that is that about the ambassador. We also have details about Citroen's other cars. Citroen does have electric cars in its product portfolio, uh, but Citroen said that the Indian market has not matured enough for electric cars yet. It would still take time. Right now, Citroen is targeting the heart of the market with the C5 Aircross, and the other products that follow the Aircross also would target the heart of the market. And well, the heart of the market right now is SUVs. Once upon a time, it was hatchbacks, but now it certainly is SUVs. And well, we have other details as well, like electric cars would come in at a later stage, and before that you'll have all petrol and diesel powered products. Of course, the growth of the diesel car market in India has come down drastically, but diesel still plays a major role, and we are certain that an SUV like the C5 Aircross would be offered with a diesel variant as well. Size wise, the and segment wise, the Citroen C5 Aircross compares with the likes of the Hyundai Tucson, uh, but it could be priced lower than the Tucson. That is because Citroen has promised 98% localization on the car. It would be 90% on the engines being produced and 98% on the vehicle, and that is absolutely great. Coming to the plans for the Indian market, well, this will be locally produced, and Citroen plans to make India its production hub. That means Citroen would be producing the cars in India and exporting them to the rest, to other markets, to international markets later. Also, what makes this so important for India is Citroen is giving the Indian market utmost importance as uh, they officially confirmed that the vehicles will be launched in India first, and a few months later itself, only that the vehicles will be launched in foreign markets. So that is great news again for us in India, but it would still take time for Citroen to make it official in the Indian market. That is 2020. Towards the end, we are still in the second quarter of 2019, so we have more than a year, more than 1.5 years to go before the Citroen brand officially makes its debut in India. Well, it has come to India now through this event. Citroen has already pushed their brand into the Indian market, but for it to officially make its debut in India, there still is quite a lot of time, and we would have to wait and see how Citroen does in the Indian market. Well, by the looks of it, uh, they're already on a winning streak because, well, they have localized production, which is great. They have this amazing looking car that will certainly attract the Indian audience. Uh, in this color, it looks attractive. If it looks attractive in white, it would be much more attractive when it is offered in other colors as well. And we have more details about the car. We will have more details about the car coming as Citroen publishes those details, as Citroen tells us what the car would be coming with. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and do stay tuned to Drive Spark as we bring you more auto news, reviews, and updates.